Nice.
Yeah, okay.
All right. Well, welcome everybody. This is nice. An unexpected surprise. So I guess all surprises are unexpected, but this is nice. This is a pleasure. So we mentioned we're just going to have a simple ceremony, and so that's what we're going to do. Don't panic. Not a lot, just a lot of words that I have to say exactly. Okay? So we're not going to be here that long. But I did want to take a few minutes, 5 or 7 minutes, just to review some things that you guys know well, but apply especially today and as you look forward as a couple. You know, you're familiar, I'm sure, with Isaiah 48, 17 and 18. And it says, this is what Jehovah says, your repurchaser, the Holy One of Israel, I, Jehovah, am your God. We recognize Jehovah as our God, don't we, as well? It says that he's the one teaching you to benefit yourself, the one guiding you in the way you should walk. Then he promises, he says, if you will pay attention to my commandments, then your peace will become just like a river and your righteousness like the waves of the sea. So, as our creator, Jehovah God is really mankind's foremost expert. He knows better than we do what works for us and what doesn't. And so you will find, as his people around the world will find, that you will find joy in your marriage to the extent that you apply Bible principles and fill your God-assigned roles. And some of those roles are not especially popular right now, but just cliff notes. Jim, you know that it's your responsibility to take the lead, especially spiritually for your wife, to pray for her, to make sure you study together. See, then you're going to have a spiritual culture in your home. And of course, Marilyn, you're going to support him, right? And being on your own for a while, you maybe haven't been playing the supportive role for a while, so that might not come naturally. But to the extent that you do that, that's going to be the success of your marriage. So let's just look at, real quick, let's look at 2 Bible principles, okay? At Matthew 7:12, we know that is the golden rule, right? Jesus said, all things therefore that you want men to do to you, you also must do to them. Okay, so a lot of people, when they read that, they take that to mean that they're only responsible not to harm somebody. But that's not what he's saying. He says, be proactive. Do for others as you'd have done for you. In fact, the Watchtower says if you want to get the most of that, do for each other as you'd have done if you were them. You have different backgrounds, you have different priorities, maybe even, you're still kind of melding. So if I were her, what would I want? That's what you're going to try and do that. And you're going to be proactive in trying to do that for each other. You can see how that will contribute, right, to a happy marriage and also bring glory to God, right? One other principle that if you apply these 2 principles, you're 90% there. The second one is found in Philippians 2, 3, and 4. And there Paul tells us to consider others as being superior to us. So again, in the culture in which we live or we're surrounded by, we tend to be trying to elevate ourselves. But Paul is saying, no, consider your marriage mate as superior to you and look out not only for your interests, but for the interests of others. So again, I'm looking at Marilyn. She has her interests, I have my interests, Jim. And to the extent that you say, you know what, we can do it. We can do it Marilyn's way. Put her interests ahead of yours. Vice versa, you can see the peace that comes. And that's what we're told there in Isaiah, right? It said your peace will be like a river. And then not only this day will be a pleasant memory, but you'll be building a history of pleasant memories together. But now let's exchange some vows. Do you, James Jeffrey Neffy, in the presence of Jehovah God and these witnesses, take Marilyn Mitchell to be your wedded wife, to love and to cherish, in accordance with the divine law as outlined in the Holy Scriptures for Christian husbands, for as long as you both may live. All right. Do you, Marilyn Mitchell, in the presence of Jehovah God and these witnesses, take James Jeffrey Neffy to be your wedded husband, to love and to cherish and deeply respect, in accordance with the divine law as outlined in the Holy Scriptures for Christian wives, for as long as you both may live?
I do.
Okay. So we're going to ask you first, Jim, to repeat the vows. So, I, James Jeffrey Neffy. I, James Jeffrey Neffy. Take you, Marilyn Mitchell. Be my wedded wife. To love and to cherish. In accordance with the divine law as set forth in the Holy Scriptures for Christian husbands, for as long as we both shall live together on earth, according to God's marital arrangement. So these rings are an outward and visible sign signifying unto all the uniting of this man and this woman in the bonds of matrimony. Forasmuch as James Jeffrey Neffy and Marilyn Mitchell have covenanted before Jehovah God and these witnesses to accept each other in wedlock, I, as an ordained minister, and by the authority conferred upon me by the Holy Scriptures in the state of Florida, pronounce that they are husband and wife together. What God has yoked together, let no man put apart.